In this video, I am going to show you a very basic way to edit everything on your Squarespace website. So I am going to show you how to edit a page on your site, a few workarounds, tips, and tricks. So let's get into it. First and foremost, if you go to your site and you want to start editing the site, the first thing you need to do is get logged in. So you could go to squarespace.com, click login, go through that process, or you could go to your website, say this is your website, go to your website and press the escape button. And what that does is that happened very fast, but when you do it, it'll trigger the backend and get you logged in to the backend. You know you're in the backend if this menu is here on the left. Now, once you're here, another thing to note, just to make sure you're in the backend, you'll see this white bar at the top. If you're in 7.1, it's the white bar. If you're in 7.0, the previous version of Squarespace, the older version of Squarespace, it'll be a darker, like off black. Okay, so if you're here, a few ways you can get in to edit a page. First thing you could do is click edit. Obvious, clear, simple, but you could click on that and then you get into the page and start making adjustments. You know you can make adjustments when you start seeing everything highlight like this when you hover over it. All right, so I'll click done. The other thing you could do is Squarespace really tries to make it their process, in some cases, as user-friendly as possible. So my recommendation is, this is one reason I really like Squarespace for small business owners, is you just double click. If you double click on something, often it will respond to that double click. So you just double click. Now you're in the editor and now you can make adjustments to the site. Boom, just like that. And now you can make different adjustments. You can highlight texts, highlight this, and then change the font size or whatever you want to do as you go through the site. And it's as easy as that. Now, a few things to note with editing the page. You'll see here it says add sections. So this yellow background is a section. This is a section. This is a section. It looks to end here as well with the same yellow background. So all these are broken up into sections. What makes it useful like this to not build really long sections, just one really long section, the reason you don't want to do that is because you could easily just reorganize this. So if you want to throw this down, you say, no, I actually want to throw this one up. You could easily just reorganize it and get a feel for what you like, what works, what doesn't as you go through the site. Now, let's just sample clicking and creating a section. So let's do add section. So you could do that and it gives you all these different options, which is cool, but you could just do add blank and you'll see here, it adds a section. It usually throws a little text box in the middle. So sometimes you don't know where to click or go. It's just go to the middle, you'll find it. Now, what you'll notice is the first thing is it puts a text box. So you could add anything else here by just clicking the plus sign. And then it gives you all these options of different things that you could add into the page. Main ones are right here. Text, button, image, video, code if you need that. Yeah, main things are right here. And then what else you can consider is you can make adjustments to this section by clicking this pencil. So the background, the height, the width, all that. So it could be a smaller. So now the section's a little bit tinier. You could adjust it manually by making it really small or making it really large, whatever you like. And then the width of the content. So this really helps if you just want to throw everything in the center over to the left. You'll see that it's all over here. If I even go to width small, you'll see it's just going to fill the left side of the screen. You could do a background image video. You could do background with full bleed or inset. Let me go back to full bleed while I show you these. And then you have these color options. So these color options fill in the background. Squarespace auto generates these, but you could also, with the colors that you give them, but you could also go in there and adjust it to what you'd like for these presets. So that is that. And then you have the text here. You can make adjustments accordingly. So let me hit save and go to another page. Now, that is for a regular page. And what is a regular page? A regular page has this little icon. You'll see that I did that fast. You'll see that on pages, I'll click into pages. You'll see that little page with the corner flipped in is a regular page. You'll see that little cart, that's shopping. This is a portfolio. Little calendar is events, and the pencil, the pen on paper here is a blog. So all of these operate a little bit differently. Specifically, these four here, if I even drag blog down here, these four here have their blog homepage, an event homepage, a portfolio homepage. You could call it that. That's not the proper name, but you could call it that. And then each item in it has its own page as well. Now let's go back to the actual just shop page. So if I click on shop, there we go. Okay, here, this is the overall shop page. So here if you click in, you double click, it'll get you into the editor where you could start making adjustments. Now, the only adjustments you can make are going to be sections above or below the shop, which is useful because there's a few things you could do there. Let's go in, add section. You could come in here, do what we did earlier, add section, and then type in, say, for example, you want to do shop here. You could do it like this, add that in. There's always an extra space there, so I'll get rid of that. And there you go. So let me just change this background so it's a little bit, wow, that's bold. That's a lot. Okay, anyway, you could add sections above the shop. So if you want to highlight anything before that, you can. But then when you go to the actual shop, this is where you make the edits to the page. There's a lot in here. It's kind of hidden, but in this case, for shop, for events, for portfolio, for blogs, it's all in that little pencil. So when you go to the actual shop, you click on that pencil, it gives you all these different options. Now, just play with them. You're not going to break anything, hopefully. Just play with them. Find what you like, see what works best, but you could play with how the content sits, if it sits full, if it sits in a little bit, how it shows pricing, how it shows the categories at the top or the sidebar. We don't have categories right now, so when it says top, they'd usually show up right here where my mouse is, but sidebar shows it off to the side here. Category title is that shop, so it'll get rid of that. So you could have shop up here and then have the categories there. However you like, there are a lot of options there for you to play with, and then you could adjust the color of the background. It's taking a moment. There it is. So let me hit save. And let's just imagine this is what we were going with. Okay. Now, the other thing to consider now, when you click into an actual specific product, so let's say this conference ticket plus party. Well, when I'm on this page, again, you could double click on this, but there is a difference here. There is one minor difference here. So you'll see this one has an actual drop-down arrow. The other ones didn't before. I didn't point it out, but they didn't have a drop-down arrow. So if I hit edit product, I edit the product. But if I hit edit design, it'll edit the page design. Let's say I want to edit this page. Well, double click in. The only option I have on this page, because it's not letting me change the text, is you could edit the product by clicking there, but you could click edit section, and this gives you control to edit this page however you like this to look. So if you want this to be a different background color, well, you can do that, and you could set it up however you like. I'm just gonna go full black for now. No, please, actually, not ideal. That kind of works. Okay, wow, got a little Halloween vibe with this orange. All right, so let's just click save, and then I'm gonna go back to the store. I wanna see what the shop looks like. See, this is interesting that it's not clear, but remember this was white earlier. So whatever we set it to, it sets it to the other pages. So just to be clear, the full shop page plus the individual product pages, all are gonna have the same background. So if I change this one to green, this one changes to green, and then this whole page changes to green. I really hope that makes sense. If you're following along so far, it should be clear. Now, let's go back. Let's take a look at blog, because I know how this one works a bit better. Same thing here. If you want to edit the blogs, well, you could click edit. You see there's no drop down arrow here. You click edit. You could add a section, add blog title, add an intro, whatever you want. And then in here, you could click on the little pencil, adjust how it looks, the layout, the feel. But let's change the color to, let's change it to this one, just because I think that'll be so clear to us when we see it on an actual blog post. So let's click into a blog post. Yep, it's the same thing. So if the main blog post page of all the blog posts is dark green in the background, the blog post itself will be dark green. That was something I took a little while to figure out, because I changed the content width on one post versus another, because some of them I wanted them to be longer or wider. Some of them I want to be more narrow. But if you change one, you change all. So they're not, now all posts will be set to 45, whatever I just set it to right now. And this is the same thing for events and portfolios. So how do you edit a page? Most likely you just double click in. Now, the last thing I want to show, and this will be the end of the video, I believe, is, let me go back to the homepage. Okay, on the homepage is one thing you got to know. The header and the footer are static throughout the entire site. Unless you use custom code, the header and the footer are always the same. So if I click edit, you'll see if I hover over edit site header, it's a global adjustment. And so if I hit site, if I change this, I can't change like sample page for home. If I do that, that's going to be on the entire site. So let's do sample site. And any elements that I change here or make adjustments to, the look or the feel, will reflect on the entire site. Now, when I click out of that and I go to the footer, Same thing if I hit edit footer. You could add multiple sections to a footer. Weird interaction here, but you could add multiple sections to a footer. And then again, whatever adjustments you make here. So if I add, if I add that and I hit save and I go visit any other page, speakers, let's say, go down, you'll see that shows up there. So just be mindful of that. Those are global. Everything else, just double click in and you should be able to edit it. And if you can't, you'll figure out why. I've shown you the trick, so you'll know how to get in there and make adjustments accordingly. Okay, this is actually the last note. So for shop, portfolio, blog, events, they all have this special little trick. So if you go to shop and then you hover over these, it's 3 little dots, click on that, click edit, you'll be able to go into the editor for that product. So you could change all the content for that product. So I didn't show this earlier, but this is where you're able to change all that content for the product, all the details. I have another video completely on just how to add products to your Squarespace site to make sure it works and operates properly. But that's how you do it for products. So let's go to portfolio. Portfolio works a little bit differently. This is portfolio 1. You want to click on it and then you edit it here. So if you click here, it's just going to show settings. It doesn't show edit. And then blog is very similar. You click on blog, you got to click on the blog post. And once you click on it, you can then double click on the page and edit it here. And then it seems like shop is the only one that's different. So if you click on events and then you highlight over event, just settings. So so you just got to go into every single product individually and then you could double click in, and this is just stuck here. Don't know why. And then you could just click edit the event however you like accordingly. So it's only shop that is confusing. Now that I work completely backwards on explaining that, now you understand. So if you want to change the info on a product, you click on the product, you could click on this little 3 dots either way, and then you want to go to edit. So you could go to edit product, you could go here and do edit when you're hovering over the product, or you could click into it, don't know why that's stuck there, and then hit edit product. And that's all. Hey, congrats, you made it to the end of this Squarespace training. If you got value from this video, you will definitely get value from some of the resources that we've created. Please go to spacebaragency.com/resources. The link will be down below in the description. And there we have a ton of ebooks, PDFs, and resources for you, for your website, for SEO, to help you grow your business. And just a quick disclaimer, most of the resources, they're free. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. If you hit the like button, it tells the YouTube algorithm some very important information, but it also tells me that you got value from this video. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.